Hello, I'm Dr. Gareth Moore. I'm a puzzle author. I've written hundreds of puzzle books. But in this video, I'm not going to be writing puzzles. I'm going to be having a look at this. It's the Tesla puzzle box. Now, this is something I backed on Kickstarter, and I think it is a wooden puzzle box where you need to work out how to open it up to get into the middle. So I don't really know much about it, except pretty much that. So let's have a good look at the box. Playtime, 2 to 3 hours. That's quite a long time. Hopefully it won't take me anywhere near that long. Difficulty 4 out of 5, but what does that actually mean? And I see it says no batteries needed, which is a surprise to me because you wouldn't have thought it would need batteries at all. But anyway, paper and pen will be helpful for solving a puzzle box, which does suggest there'll be some sorts of codes perhaps to keep track of. And I do see it says flashing lights on the underneath. So I guess that's why it refers to batteries. Anyway, clearly the first thing to do is to open the box and have a look inside. Right, okay, let's cut these tabs. 1, 2. Is that it? I think it is. Moment of anticipation. Oh, Tesla box. Presuming this is instructions of some sort. Let's have a look at this. Oh, it folds all the way out. Oh, there's a picture of Mr. Tesla, I'm assuming. And then, okay, stuff in different languages. Okay, so it says the Serbian-American inventor and electrical engineer Nikola perhaps Tesla revolutionized the world with his pioneering work in alternating current and numerous other groundbreaking inventions. But it says recently, amidst the collection of his aged photographs and sketches, a historian stumbled upon a perplexing box, seemingly ahead of its time. However, so far, no one has been able to activate or even open the box. Can you? Well, I hope the answer to that is yes, else this will be a very disappointing video. Keep in mind, all our puzzle boxes, okay, we've suddenly gone out of the pretend Tesla world. Keep in mind, all our puzzle boxes can be solved purely by logic. No force, hitting, banging, or external tools are required. Pen and paper will be helpful for solving the puzzle box. Okay, and there's some hints I can take. Bonus tip for first-time players. The key to open most puzzle boxes is to carefully search the box for clues. Commonly, clues come in forms of symbols and shapes. Try to find similar shapes and match the symbols. Okay, fine. I feel that was fairly self-explanatory. And then there are a lot of languages. But let's have a look at the box then. All right, well, I don't think that's part of the box. Let's get rid of that. And inside, ooh, look at that. Oh, it's very shiny, isn't it? It has no fingerprints on it at the moment, so except anything perhaps they put on it in the factory. Oh, actually, there is one other thing I know about this. I sort of lied, but not deliberately. I have a mini one. Now I've seen this, I recognise it. Because I backed it on Kickstarter, it came with a little extra, at least I think that's why. A miniature one, which you had to assemble. This I did not assemble. But this I did assemble, it was very straightforward. It has a little perspex bit on top, which I see matches the actual box. And this is in fact a little, it's not perhaps a puzzle box, but if you turn here, if you can have a look, that lock opens and you can take the lid off. It's rather lovely, but it is not this. This is the puzzle. So let's get rid of the cardboard box out of the way. What have we got here? Well, that's the top of it. And I can see quite a few things. I can see there's a wheel here with an arrow on it. It doesn't turn yet. Oh, look, that matches the design of the lid of the little tiny one here, where you turn the wheel in the middle and it opens and closes the tabs. Very nice. But yes, so there's a wheel I'm supposed to be turning at some point here. There's a, well, let's work round from the bottom. So there's a picture of a battery here. If I rotate it this way, in fact, we have padlock plus electricity symbol, lightning equals unlocked padlock. We have S question, and we have some pictures of a switch moving here as well. So it's like it either is or is like an electronic circuit in that respect. And they all look like contacts here, but whether they are really contacts, who knows? Let's rotate the box. Right, okay, what have we got here? Well, there's A's with pluses and minuses. There's some A minus, there's multiple A minuses. In fact, there's quite a lot of A minuses, but only one A plus, I think. And then is this a J? Let's call it J. Is a J plus? Oh, there's multiple J pluses and multiple J minuses. There are omega pluses and are there omega minuses? Not that I see. And then there are V's as well. And then down the bottom, there's some sort of tree of connections. And there are also these circles in among them. Whether the circles are the same thing or a separate puzzle, I don't know. But they come down here to some sort of table, or I don't know. Perhaps you're meant to work out how many there are. Perhaps you just literally add and subtract each time you see one and count, and it gives you maybe a 4-digit number. And then there are some switches. Do the switches move? That switch doesn't currently move. In fact, none of them currently move. And there is a plastic tab here as well, which perhaps would move if this tab here This is, I'm already thinking this is complicated. There's a wheel here. I'm trying to be organised about explaining this, what I can see. But this, these connect to some sort of screw anyway, is clearly the suggestion that you can see there. And then on this, well, on the edges, there's a wheel or a tab. Here there is what looks like a clock face, and there are some, there's a diagram at the top of something with, well, perhaps a 2-digit number, and it's going across, but there are other less than signs, I think. It won't turn at the moment, perhaps it will if we can release all these latches. And there's a thing here with an arrow, which I can't currently move. On the side here, there are what look like screws, but they're actually just, they're not screws, they're just etchings. Was that on the previous sides as well? Yes, I just hadn't noticed. And I have observed now, there are lock symbols next to these on the sides as well. And then on the third of the side faces, we have feather weighs less than a kilogram. So perhaps that's explaining what these less than symbols are. They're perhaps referring to weight or something to do with numeric values. We have a battery symbol. There's some tabs here that won't move. Do these tabs move? No. They're clearly going to go, if I turn it sideways on. Oh, they've got arrows on. They are designed to go up and down. This is complex, isn't it? And there's two less than signs in the middle pointing to one another. And these somehow come from these and merge together. Oh, and there's an arrow here, which I can't currently move. There's a lot going on here, isn't there? And then on the fourth and final of the side faces, there is a weighing scales. Oh, a rod which I can pull out. Does that do anything? I mean, yes, it probably does do something, but I can only pull it this far. So perhaps it locks something, or perhaps it unlocks something. I'd have to go around and experiment to see what it... I haven't looked at this side yet, so let's push that back in. These come out. Right. So I have some little figures, and underneath them there are symbols. And this rod only goes up that far. I'll leave it that far, why not? So the others come out? Are they all the same before I start mixing them up and make not my nightmare for myself? They have, oh, they have metal. Are they metal? Yeah, little metal ball bearings at the bottom, which I think are clipped in place. Well, there's 2 of them. There's 3 of them. And then can I just take them all out? I can take them all out, and they appear to be identical. So there are pegs here, and did that make one of the other one move? Did it make this move? There may be somewhere written on this box I haven't finished exploring yet, the word start or something to tell me which puzzle to do first. But, well, there's this, and then there's more on the side. And then finally, last but I don't think least, there is the start. There is the word start. Should have looked at it on the bottom first. Clearly, it says start. There is a switch of some sort. And there is, oh, this wheel does turn. Does it turn the top? Not that I can see. But it does turn. There's resistance, but not heavy resistance. Oh, it's some sort of flywheel. Oh, it's a generator, I think. I might be wrong, but I feel that was... The way it sort of kept going makes me think you might be able to use it to generate some electricity, and that's perhaps why it doesn't need batteries. So perhaps I need to turn this at some point, and it does have sparks on it, which makes me think that that is indeed exactly what it does. If I just spin it quickly, do I see any lights appear? Oh yes, I do, look. Let me zoom out. On the edge of the box there, did you see? There, the sides. There, they flash every so often. It's quite hard to do that, especially because there's quite a lot of reflections there. There's flashing at the side. Oh, it's flashing still. Ah, will it stay flashing? Oh, it does. That's interesting. So I've powered it up. Oh, wow, look at that. That's actually super cool. Yeah, it's flashing. There's a slight delay on my screen when I'm looking up at my monitor, which is super confusing. I don't normally notice that, but with the flash, it's very obvious. Right, okay. So perhaps things that were dead before will actually work now. So these things here, I know I'm not starting at the start, but there are connectors on here. Does putting them in actually do anything? Potentially it might. Well, I don't know how long it will keep flashing for, but we'll leave it flashing for now. And we'll go and have a look at the bottom. And we see where it says start. Here. Now that switch. Ooh! Did you see that? It was just on camera at the bottom here. When I pressed start, that came popping out. Very nice. And that does come all the way out. And it has a metal connectors on both ends. And oh, it's a weighing scales. It does make me think that perhaps it goes into here. That sort of appears to fit together, right? But then what am I going to do with that? Well, it stopped flashing, so clearly if I want the electricity function to work again, it's going to need a bit more spinning. But that doesn't do anything anymore. So start. Does it have arrows? So sometimes when you, on a puzzle box, I've tried like 2 in my life, but there have been arrows that follow around from the start. So for example, the fact that this start is next to this screw here, does that mean that this is the next thing I should do? I can't move these yet. I'm going to assume I don't need to keep charging it up continuously, because that would be a bit boring. So this is the side where I could release these pieces, and I have this. So that suggests, and this suggests I'm starting here. Now this does pull out, like I said, and I can put that there on there. Perhaps I use this to weigh things. Perhaps I actually weigh. I put that like that, and I put this like this. Is there some way? I was just thinking it was decorative, but I'm actually, are these maybe different weights? Maybe they are different weights. How do they, there's those magnets. Oh, those are magnets. Look at that. So I can put these on the magnets and then pan them on here, and then it falls off. But perhaps if I tilt it back slightly, I could use it to find the comparative weights of them. Oh, if I can only stop it falling off. That doesn't work, does it? Well, I wondered if I was weighing, because this is clearly a Hanning weighing scales. And there must be some reason I can put these on here. I mean, I could hold it by hand, but this is quite top heavy. Perhaps if I put them back this way. But then how would that work? This bar doesn't come out far enough for that to work. Is there something like a cap I can put on the end to stop it falling off? Or perhaps I just hold it like this with my finger. If I do that, because of the weight of the tin, it's not really possible to tell which is the heavier of the two, if either is indeed heavier. Perhaps the concept is that I weigh them, but it's not possible to, I think, actually see which is heavier, unless those are the same weight anyway. If I hold it like this, you can't see, but if I hold it like that and just rest my finger in the middle, they do appear to be the same weight. Let's try a different one. There's nothing obvious about it. Let's hand them on this. It's just narrower in the centre. Yeah, I think they're the same weight, more or less. That's really in the middle now. Maybe the one on the right is heavier, actually. I think this one could be heavier. It does appear to hand to the right. Let's try this one. Can you see the picture? See on the picture of me what I'm doing? Without it's being super confusing? Oh no, they look fairly level. I'd say they were the same weight. Well, within the reason of my complex measuring system. They are different, aren't they? You can see. The amount of wood on them varies. Those sides look the same. Those sides, clearly that has less wood there. Okay, you'd think this one would be lighter. Why did I just think that one was heavier? Let's test that again. The one on the right is heavier. Okay, so heavier, lighter. Therefore, I can only assume that the visual appearance of it is not helpful in terms of working out the ordering. So what's going on here? I've got different, I haven't really looked at this, but there are different patterns in here. I don't see these symbols repeating anywhere else on the box. So I don't think I'm using necessarily the symbols here at the moment anyway to do anything. I feel like perhaps I'm just putting these in weight order. But then again, how would I know which was the lighter side, which was how would I know? Say I work out an ordering of all 6 of them, then I could clearly go like that, or like that, a bit less likely, but I could certainly go like that, or like that, or some other combination. Reading across the 2 rows. And also then you can go from lightest to heaviest, or heaviest to lightest. They do snap in rather satisfyingly. Let's keep weighing. So that is heavier, that is lighter than this. I think this is an ordering. I can, for example, compare this with this. Still, I could do all sorts of further tests, and I could also go and get proper weighing scales. But let's say that this is the purpose of this. I also could have measured them perhaps with this if I persisted, but I didn't manage it. Let's try putting them in this order and see if something magical happens. And the trouble with saying things like that is if nothing magical happens, then I just sound like an idiot. But hopefully there is some reason to be... Oh, I heard something. I heard 2 snaps when I put that in then. As if something else moved as well. That one didn't do anything when I put it in. A little concern. Oh, perhaps it did that way. Oh, it did that way. There. Now what? Can I move that? Can I move that further? Oh. This has the heavier symbol here. What else? What else might unlock now? It would be quite fun if... Oh! I've got a green light then. Did you see? I didn't get a green light before. I think that means I've done that bit correctly. That is seriously cool. Seriously cool. Oh, I love this. Let's do it again. Well, I might be wrong, but I'm guessing the green light means that's correct. So what is my next stage? These don't yet move. That doesn't yet move. I didn't hear anything like a latch. And it's all very well the colours changing. It's possible the colours would have changed before if I had pushed really hard, but I don't think so. Is it something at the top that will move now? Perhaps I press down on them all at once? I also can't be 100% certain that because I've got the green light, I have them all in the correct order. Of course, the orientation of the box might affect whether you can open and move something, but I don't hear anything sliding around. But it's certainly plausible that something would only happen when it was one way up. Green could also just mean that it's fully charged. It's possible, isn't it? I didn't make it go green before, and I did quite energetically spin it, so probably that's not true. But you never know. Well, I can't get anything else on this box to move at all. So I'm thinking I'm not quite done with the puzzle I was looking at. May or may not have them in the right order. It's a bit annoying. I reckon I'll just have to check the order again. I mean, conceptually, the 3rd and 4th could go in a different order. I can't tell the difference between those. So I'll have to remember that the 3rd and 4th could go in a different order. They're very similar too. I mean, maybe they are actually the same weight. Perhaps then I've got it wrong. Perhaps these two are the same. These two are the same. And perhaps somehow these two are the same and I haven't weighed them correctly. And then we're trying to do the lightest, middlest, that's not the word, heaviest. Let me weigh these two again. Because otherwise it's surprising that I can't clearly see a difference in weight between them. Let's measure these again. I feel the one, perhaps they are the same weight. Perhaps what I've done wrong then, let's not mess this up. I have this order, I want to keep this order. But perhaps I have actually got 3 different weights. Perhaps the green was not telling me I was correct. Perhaps I have 3 weights. These are the lightest on the left. These are the middle weight in the middle. And these are the heaviest on the right. I mean, nothing happens when I do that. But I don't know whether I would actually realistically expect anything to happen when I do that. Let's try turning this again. Do I get green still? I do still get green, and it's still just green. There's no extra colours mixed in with that. I'm a bit mystified because I thought the green was from putting these in the right locations, but it isn't. I feel that if these were correct, I'd be able to move this tab. In fact, the fact that there are 6 here, and it says power, and there are 6 comparisons perhaps. There are 6 things to order here. Maybe it connects to the fact that there are 6 things here. But at the moment these don't move. So although they are clearly going to move at some point, they're not moving yet. It clearly says I need power for it. But They don't move when I have power there. Maybe the switches will move when I have power on the other side. No. What on earth am I supposed to do now? I feel that this is definitely the way to go, and that I think is just a way in. It's to encourage you to weigh them, which gives you an ordering. So, what else can I do? Do these pictures have some connection with their weights? Perhaps the pictures aren't. I've completely ignored the pictures so far, but perhaps the pictures are really, really important. However, if they are important, then in what way? If, for example, they were all different sizes of shape, I would say, well, one's clearly the heaviest, one's the lightest. Or if there was some ordering on the shapes, like from 1 to 6, I would say, well, 1 is the lightest. I don't see any clear ordering. I mean, there's like 4 areas on here, 2 on here, 8 on that one around the outside, there's 1 in the middle. I don't see any obvious way of converting those into weights. There's no obvious polygon type progression. I don't see how the progression connects to anything else on the puzzle. I mean, maybe I can make out the edges of shapes on here. That's going to be an hourglass there, right? So perhaps that does connect to here. But that seems like a connection, because I can't move these yet. Looks like a connection for a later puzzle. Unless I'm trying to order them based on this picture. That seems very complex. But potentially, I'm supposed to work out which of these edges I can see matches the pictures, and that gives me a weight ordering. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. But then what are the pictures? Well, I guess I can work it out. I'll do them from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the third one is the hourglass symbol, which I feel I have drawn spectacularly well there. And then this is a, well, it looks like a sort of like Maltese cross type thing. So I think it's the top left one. I'm pretty certain it's the top left one. Perhaps I should also mark on each one where it is in the picture. So it's here. This is the top left. And it's basically this. I think that's called a Maltese cross. That's got some sort of curve with an indent. So that is this second one on the top row. We're getting there. Maybe this is, I feel actually, I'm no longer guessing. I'm making some progress. And then this is a curve on an X, which is clearly this one here, because that's a sort of out. So if you imagine just the border a bit, it does sort of appear X-like. And then here, this is a T shape from the sides. So that's clearly this one at the bottom left. The last one, by elimination, is sort of like across the side of a diamond. Does it match up with my... Yes, it certainly does. So, based on just the bits we can see, we can line up the symbols to make them correspond with this side where there are inequalities marked. Ah, yes. I said there were 2 of each weight. So if that's true, or 2 very similar weights, then I put the lightest ones, this presumably means that's the arrow points away from the heavier one. So presumably the 2 outer ones are the heaviest, the 2 inner ones are the next heaviest, and the 2 innermost ones are the lightest. So we can do that, right? So what I need to do is note down that these are the lightest, 3 and 4, these numberings are the left to right on here. This is the next lightest, and then these outer ones are the heaviest. So I'll put an L for lightest and an H for heaviest. I'm not sure that's clear really, but I'll put that there. I think it's going to be more in the shade and stop getting too bright in the camera. So now if I rotate this, can I put these all in the right place? So the lightest ones are positions 3 and 4. So 3 is the bottom right. And can I now move this? Disappointingly, no. This surely slides when these are in the right position. So I have to put them in a particular order? Surely not. But it does show 4 electricity things coming to here, and 3 to here, and 3 to here. There's no reason to think there's an ordering involved in that, I don't think, but you never know. There might be. There might be an ordering. The less than sign has lighter on the left, heavier on the right, which is what you'd expect. So you expect lighter here, heavier here. And I took that to mean lightest littlest, heaviest. Because I don't think anything else really makes sense. And that would then justify why I thought that there were 2 of each weight as well. I mean, I thought the first 2 weren't quite the same weight, but that's probably just my measuring. Because that makes perfect sense with this diagram as well. Now, clearly I can swap those in the same position, but I don't see any reason to do that. So I think what actually happens here is that the magnets hold them in place, and they aren't themselves active, but that these actual different cuts here push this peg. There's a peg which sort of connects to here, and I think it's what's locking this. If you can move all the pegs into the right position, then I think it would be done. So the fact that these are different makes me think there has to be an actual ordering within each column as well. Yeah, there's a tall and a short in each. Well, they're the same. No, they're not. There's a tall and a short in each pair. So this may be very. Oh, that's a really tall one. They're all different heights. I want this to be so elegant, and I feel that there is an elegance to it, if only I can tease it out. Okay, so there are 2 options. One is that my weighing of them is completely incorrect, and the other option is that my understanding of this picture is incorrect. But I feel that I do understand that picture. So what about the weighing? Maybe maybe I should go get a weighing scales, or work out what this was meant to be doing, because they just fall off, don't they? As soon as I do that, it falls off the front. But I suppose, actually, I thought these notches were for... I thought the notches were for just the way something to push inside the box to release something. Perhaps, you can put the weight on the edge like that, can't you? Oh, there we go. Oh gosh, that one was a lot more heavy. So let's reweigh them. So I thought these were the 2 lightest ones. Let's weigh them next to each other. They should be the same weight or thereabouts. Well, I won't be able to see thereabouts from this. Is this right? Will that fit on? Yes. Oh, well, let's pull back in. Turn it out again. Oh, this is heavier. Right, let's do the whole thing again. Weigh them in order. So I do now have an ordering. Perhaps there's an ordering within the columns that I have missed. On here, perhaps one side is heavier than the other. Perhaps it's as simple as that. I don't know which way around it would be, because it doesn't seem to show. Oh, perhaps this side is lighter than that side in each case. I don't feel that's what that shows. But it might be that one way round is lighter than the other. So I now have a proper ordering, I think, because they were clearly different weights. I have a proper ordering within each pair. So this is the lightest pair, and I worked out that the lightest pair, 3 and 4 on the diagram, must go in the rightmost column. I'll place the lighter one at the top. Right. And then here again, the lightest one at the top. And yet, it still doesn't seem to do anything. I could put the heavy one at the bottom. I could swap them all. This actually is at least a logical thing, because I have the columns based on the columns are based on the diagrams and the symbols. And now the ordering within each the ordering of the rows is not defined if there is an ordering, if the ordering matters. And now you see, I assumed that the symbols here were related to these orderings. But perhaps they aren't. Perhaps, in fact, I was right to start with, and that I just order them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something to begin with, so I could try that. 1, 2. Maybe I didn't weigh them. Maybe I had it right to start with, and I just didn't weigh them very well. 4, 5, 6. Nope, it doesn't move. It doesn't move. Okay, so I must be missing something else. I mean, what's going on here? I've been assuming I'm identifying these by the sides and they'll pop out, but perhaps they never pop out. Oh! What was that? Oh, I have been missing so much. Oh, look, 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 look. I was wondering how the rows worked. It gives me the row comparisons with the magic of electricity. It shows me, if I do the ones that are in equivalent positions or it's run out of electricity. Oh gosh, that's really annoying that you have to have recently charged it. for it to work. So I might have pressed those together, but anyway, it's charged. If I press the opposite ones, it tells me which is heavier than the... If I press those that are in equivalent positions, it gives me... This answers my question of how it matters which way round they go. Okay. How the rows work. So, for the middle row, the one on the right is heavier than the one on the left. So, 3 is less than 4. 4 is heavier than 3. For the next two, I just run out of electricity again. Ouch, that's quite painful. For the next two, the one on the left is heavier than the one on the right. So 2 is heavier than 5. I was close to doing this and I struggled. And 1 and 6, the one on the right is heavier. So 6 is greater than 1, or put another way, 1 is less than 6. So I can write them in the same order. Okay, right. I feel that this isn't correct. I'm going to throw this out the window. No, I'm really not. So the lightest ones are 3 and 4. They go in the rightmost column by my logic. And I now know that 3 is less than 4. So the lightest one goes at the bottom of that column. And 1 is lighter than 6. I want the heavier one at the top. This way around. And that still does not move. And I am ready to throw it out the window. Well, that didn't work. Is there some other way of interpreting this ordering? I mean, I've decided that I had an order for these 3 and an order for these 3. Is there some other ordering? Perhaps I'm making an assumption about the ordering here. Perhaps I can get more information electronically out of the box. I thought I could only get opposite ones to give information. Perhaps there's more inequality information to get. If I press those 2, push them up, I got an inequality. But and I thought if I pressed that and that, I didn't. Oh, look, this is all I've missed. Can I press 2 next to each other? No. But I can press any combination of the other side to work out a full ordering. Oh, I see. Oh, look at this light's fading. That's why I was stuck. So it doesn't mean that inequality goes that way at all. I was misinterpreting that. It's perfectly reasonable how it works, I think. I just didn't understand at all. I mean, I understood a bit, I just didn't understand fully. All right, so let's charge it up and let's write down all the combinations, numbering them from left to right. And I will start with 1. 1 is less than 4. 1 is greater than 5. And then we can work out an ordering afterwards. 1 is less than 6. 1 weighs less than 4, so let's put 1 and 4 here. 1 weighs more than 5. 1 weighs less than 6, we don't know where that is. 2 weighs more than 4. 2 weighs more than 5. 2 weighs less than 6. 3 weighs less than 4, so it's somewhere here. 3 weighs less than 5. Oh, okay. So I think the order is 3 and then 3 is less than 6. So that's 3, 5, 1, 4, 2, 6 is the order from lightest to smallest. And then I need to number these again, 1 and 2, so I don't get confused. So 3 goes here. Is that right? Yes, I think so. Before I confuse myself anymore, let's put them in. Let me zoom out. Let's put all these back in. So the lightest is 3, which goes in position 3, which is the bottom right hole. Yeah. Then let's move it on the left so it's not getting overexposed. And then the next lightest is 5, which goes at the bottom left. And then the next lightest is 1, that goes at the top middle. Surely this is correct now. It's only like my 96th attempt. And then the 4, number 4 is the next lightest, which is the top right. Number 2 is the next lightest, that goes at the top left. And finally, let's just check, 6 at the bottom middle. This must be the ordering. That must be right. That has taken me a long time to solve. A long time to solve. It's not the whole box, just to be clear, it's just the start of it. And the reason it took me so long is because I made an assumption about what this picture showed. I thought these were going to be sliders. They were in fact lights. I didn't realise how I had to keep this fully charged. And initially I didn't understand what the green meant either. So that confused me a little. But I didn't understand that these were buttons. I thought they were tabs that weren't yet ready to move, not a way of comparing. And I didn't understand I could compare anyone on any side against anyone on the other side, but not against one on the same side. So there was a bit it took me a while to discover there. So my earlier assumptions took too long to wipe away. I have finally put these in the right order and moved that tab. Now what can I do? Can I press that down? Can I press that down? What does moving that actually do? That's the next question. Can I move that yet? No. What's the next puzzle to solve? Because the fact that I've moved that can't be... Do these move? Not yet. That doesn't move. That doesn't move. That sort of pushes a bit. I can feel it making that move. That doesn't move. That doesn't move. That doesn't. None of these. Oh, that. Look, 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 look. Okay. So that now moves down. Oh, so that's... Oh, clearly pushing that to the left has pulled a peg out of this one. And that now pulls down. Does that have anything to do with anything? On the top? Does it mean I can pull this out? Ah, look. That goes across. And now I can slide these. So I feel probably I think I put these in the right position and then push that left. So I had an idea about what this might mean, which was just purely summing up the subtractions and additions. So they are arranged in a tree, but in order to do this, I could just start by counting them. If I count the V pluses and the V minuses, then that should give me a total here, right? So for example, if I scan across the rows, I'll count up one for a plus and down one for minus. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a problem because I can select numbers from 2 to -2. But I think there are V pluses. There are 6, and no V. There are no V minuses. I thought I saw V minus before. It may be that I combine branches because this branch diagram perhaps is not just random. I still don't know what the circles are for. But yes, maybe I add things together. I really thought I saw a V minus before. I obviously did not see a V minus before because there doesn't appear to be one. So if I trace the tree, then I have V plus and V plus here. So that would be 2V plus. And then get to here and be, well, it'll be 3V plus. This doesn't make, and then another one here, 4V plus. And then 5, 6. That doesn't really make any sense. Let's do this with A's and see if that helps. So I'll count up and down. So I've got 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. So A is -4. I don't really need the plus there because that was. This isn't helping me, is it? Because I assume these rows correspond with these, and that I just need to find the correct values for each, and then I assume I slide that across to release the next thing, which maybe releases that, or maybe this. So there's a screw here, which possibly is decorative, or possibly is supposed to suggest how they work. Maybe they cancel out? Are they meant to be like ions? The two positives survive and a negative and a positive cancel out? Because there's one possibility that if everywhere there's a negative and a positive going together, they cancel out. But I don't know how likely I think that is. And what about these circles? Is there one circle per thing? No, there isn't. I must have to work out what this diagram means. So let's assume that the dots are relevant. I don't think there's anything on here that's going to help me, unless it's these question marks and inequalities. I feel that's to do with the clock face, but I could be wrong. And what else? I now know what those symbols all mean, and there's nothing else underneath really. And I don't think there's any symbols on the top that are going to directly help me here. Yeah, I obviously need to get to that to do the clock one, I assume. How would I get that out early? I don't know. Oh, now I've been looking at this for a bit, and I've just noticed there are circles on here. Is that released now? Oh, I did not experiment enough. I wonder I can't solve it. I needed this. What happens here? Do I look to link dots? Obviously the dots are used with this. Perhaps I find a path through which connects the dots. And it would have to finish, let's do it backwards. So I can connect. I don't know whether, I think, oh, there's an arrow. So the arrow will tell me which way to go, right? So there's an arrow on here. This will give me perhaps a selected number of dots. And perhaps I only use the branches which can be linked with arrows. Oh golly. Well, I can link those, but the arrow goes the wrong way. If I turn it upside down, yes, look at that. That puts an arrow on here. Okay, so I think I'm selecting branches via this. Yep, there's one on there. So, presumably I start everywhere there's a bit at the end. So let's get a new piece of paper and count. So maybe I take segments which have letters on. So for example, this is F plus. Let's just write a count of everything and hope I get this correct the first time. So my things are V, A, J, yeah, no, it's F, isn't it? It's F for farads, I'm pretty sure. And then O, sigma for ohms. Or is it omega? It's omega, isn't it? That was just unnecessarily confusing then. So anyway, I've got an F here at the top left, so let's give them a 1 for an F. And then that follows to an A, but that's a minus. So I'll just put -1 here for now. The question is whether I'm following the path or I'm ignoring the paths and just taking the sides that are labelled. But let's say I follow every path, but I can start on the section. So I have an A minus, and then I have a V plus, but that doesn't have an arrow on it. So perhaps I ignore that V plus. Let's do this first. And I go onto here, which is an omega plus. I'm not sure I'm doing this correctly. And that's not got any writing on it. And this one here is a V plus. That's now 2. And then the next thing I have is an omega plus. That's 2. And an A minus. That's now -4. This isn't working very well. Because I'm going to keep getting this A minus, aren't I? And only one A plus. So what I'm doing is incorrect. All right, let's start again. If I just literally count the pluses and minuses on the segments that have arrows, let's see what happens. I'll go around clockwise. So I have V plus, this path. Can't count this more than once, but A minus. I think this doesn't have anything on it. And I don't think this has anything on it. Because this has 2. And I think I've counted everything. But I feel there's only a slim chance this is correct. But if it was, then I would set the V slider to 2. I would set the A slider to -1. I can pull the tab off the bottom in case you wonder how I made that move. And I'd set the F slider to 1. And the next slider to 1 too, the omega slider to 1. But I feel that I've not counted things. Well, I suppose if you assume that everything has to connect, every symbol has to be uniquely assigned to one line, then this has to be uniquely assigned to A minus, which puts A on -2. And this line here, if it was to be uniquely assigned, that would have to be the omega there. This would make it F plus, which would make it 2 minus 2, 2, 1. 2 minus 2, 2, 1. Oh, that isn't correct though. And it's possible I've missed out some. I assume it just moves when it's ready. Oh, did I get it to move? No, I think it's perhaps one of these values is correct. And there's less resistance. It's not yet correct. Have I marked in all of the arrows that I need? It's possible I haven't. Yeah, for a start I haven't. There's an arrow here. So there's another F minus there. So that makes this 1. F is the third one. It's not right. I wonder if I've made all my arrows go the wrong way. Because if I put this like this, right? Here, for example, to turn right, but I could equally turn it the other way. And then it goes left. So perhaps I'm not starting at all the nodes or selecting all. So I was assuming I was starting at nodes with edges that are highlighted and then following those in and somehow summing what was going on. But what if I'm doing the opposite? What if I'm starting at the middle and tracing just one path? So for example, when I get to here, this doesn't have an arrow on it, but this has an arrow. If I imagine every arrow is pointing in the opposite direction, then I'd have an arrow here, an arrow here, an arrow here, and I'm missing an arrow. And then let's say it's here. Oh, maybe there's an arrow on this set line here. That might be true. So if I keep the line arrows the way I've done them so far. Ah, yes, I did miss an arrow here. So I can actually trace a path all the way. If every arrow is backwards, I can trace a path from here, which selects a junction in each case. That's what I was actually looking for originally. A path that was complete. And I didn't have that, so I thought I must be doing something else. Okay, so let's follow just that one path. So from here, let's just put the whole thing in. V, A, F, and omega. From here we have F1, V1. Then we go this path and it's A minus, so minus 1. And we go this path, which is omega plus. And then this path, which is nothing, I don't think. But this path, which is F plus again, so that's now a 2. And then this path, which is an A plus, which makes that 0. So then we have 1, 0, 2, 1. Let's try that anyway. 1, 0. I feel I should have some minus numbers, just for, you know, because I should. That doesn't look much of an argument, is it? 1, 0, 2, 1. Is that lined up-ish? Can I push that? I mean, definitely. No, what have I got wrong? Let's count this again. Let's count Fs. 1, 2. I should have 2 for my Fs. Let's count Vs. I've got 1. I've got 1. Let's count As. I've got, is that a minus? Let's move my arrow. It is definitely a minus, yes. So I've got minus 1, 0, cancels out. I haven't counted omegas. So coming up here, I've got 1 omega, 1 omega. So if this isn't the answer, then what is? 1, 0. So I was so sure that was correct. Let me just line these up again. 1, 0, 2, 0. Oh! Okay, I had it right. It just wasn't aligned properly. So that moved left, and I saw something else move, I think. Maybe I didn't. So does this move down now? It does. Don't forget to pull out the bottom. Okay, so I've released 2 of these now. Excellent. All right, so that's finally unlocked that. Now, what does that do? Does it open this? Not in any meaningful way. Oh, at the bottom. Oh, I've just noticed. I didn't notice before. I assumed the sliders were in the order here, but they do also say on them what they are. VA, omega, and so on. Anyway, what about the top? If I spin and 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 spin, what happens? Does that turn yet? No. Anything come out? Nope. Nothing move here? Yep, no, not yet. Are there any more of these I can move? Oh, that's no, I want them to go down, don't I? Not up. Down, down, no. Do these slide yet? Does that move? You can't see. Does that move? Not yet. What makes that move then? What happens if I spin it? Does that move at the same time? No. So this face, I figured I needed to... Oh, does that move? Oh, that's perhaps moved a little. Yeah, I figured I needed to get this out. This looks like it goes on the clock, but perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it's just to make it pretty when it's finished. So I moved that down, which you would think has unlocked this puzzle. Can I turn... I can turn that. I can actually turn these plastic things with, well, a pencil, for example. But does that matter? I can line them up, for example. Unhelpfully, to be honest, because I can't see them now. But do they have, right, there's arrows on here, aren't there? Look, let's turn that light on. There are 2 arrows here. Oh, does it suggest pushing something up? Maybe. Pushing this up? I don't know where I'd push it up from, though. There's nowhere directly underneath. What am I supposed to be doing here? I figured, yeah, to be honest, I hadn't thought this through. Even if I got that, it has a magnet on one end. There's no magnet clip there. What does this mean? I mean, a 2-digit number is less than a 2-digit number is less than a 2-digit number is less than a 2-digit number. But what am I doing to solve this puzzle? Am I trying to take these pegs out? Am I trying to push this through? It doesn't actually push through. What's on the other side? No. I could try pushing that peg, but that does that. Pushing this has no effect on these. I don't think I meant to be moving this. I think that's just construction holes. I could indeed line up the plastic inside, but that hasn't really helped me, I don't think. There are 3 sets of plastic wheels in there, or are there 2? 1. There are definitely 3. Those symbols underneath must be relevant. There are 2 pegs I can see here and here, right? Does that fit in there? It actually does. Is that relevant? I think perhaps that these were released. But then why the 3? If you were releasing these 3 and the point of it was just to be able to stick something in here, which I don't think is the point, because this doesn't seem to do anything. Oh! Ah, yes, it's exactly what the point was. It has released something. This. Ooh. I just have to push that harder in. And I saw that clock hand jump. So it is loose in there. Yeah, I thought it was. Right, so I've got this. It has a magnet on the corner. And it will actually fit to that. So perhaps that did release these plastic things, which I didn't see were loose before. So I think I've understood what that meant. It meant push that in there. So now what do I do with... Oh, look, this open. The top is open. Of course it's open, because this is where this just came out. Do I push this in other ways? Does this meant to connect with... I actually don't really understand. Does that connect with some of these symbols? I don't think so. They seem different. Huh. Oh, but what about here? There's a hole here now. Can I get that hand out here? Oh, look, I can. Excellent. I've now got the hand. And it will clip to here, presumably. But what is the purpose of this? It will also clip to here, because they're magnets. What is the purpose of this? So I thought this was going to go in the middle. And it does sort of go, it goes like that, right? It must do. Oh! Does it turn this? It turns the... Oh, it turns the discs underneath. Oh, look at that! Oh, it's the thing of beauty, isn't it? Oh yeah, the silver things are magnetised. The rings are magnetised. Is there some magic way to control them? This clearly means set different things to different times. So if there were 4 plastic rings, which there may be, and I had arrows on, and I could point them at these bits, maybe that's what I'm doing. But I don't think that is necessarily right. Does this rotate? Because what's this holding here? Is that holding? No, it's not actually connecting to it. Does that rotate at all or move? No. If I spin this, does anything happen when I turn the hands? Not that I can see. What does this tell me? I don't recognise those shapes. Are they on top of the box? Let's turn that light off again. Are they on top of the box? Not that I can see. No, I don't see them. It's blank on the back, right? Yeah. I don't see those on top of the box. They don't seem to be on there. They don't seem to be on here. If I put that directly under the camera and put the light on again, can you see that any clearer? Is there some way of making the gaps exactly match this? Not really, because at the bottom here, that's going to be in the way, isn't it? Let's move this out a moment. I thought for a second perhaps I could make the gaps between them form these patterns, but they're never going to be those elaborate patterns, are they? These are all my bits and pieces I have here at the side of the picture, and those symbols on here must be on here somewhere, and they're not the symbols that are under here. Those are different again. I don't think they match those. I also feel that mechanically this is release this and that's all it's going to do. That doesn't mean the pictures aren't going to be useful. Are they not on the side bits, are they? No. I don't think they're the ones on here. Is that T-shape, this T-shape? Oh, perhaps they do fit into them. Perhaps they fit into the... Yeah, I wonder. Are they the edges of the shapes that were on the other one? Where's my post-it? Here's my original post-it. I know these are not the most accurate drawings, but yeah, that T there would fit into the side of here and here, wouldn't it? Oh, you can't see where I'm pointing. And then that would... I think they connect with the symbols I've already got. Oh, golly. What does that mean then? Let's have a look at those symbols again. What connects with what? Okay, so as I have just said twice, this edge here and this edge here are similar to the edge of this. What about this edge here? Yeah, that's the edge of the hourglass, isn't it? That line there, does it match the edge of anything? Yes, it does. It matches the edge of this. What is this telling me? Is it giving me an ordering? Oh, golly, I don't know if I remember the order from the previous one. Well, I have it written down somewhere, I suppose, but I'm not sure I wrote it down in a form that was easy to understand. This is written on this post-it. Okay, the first one. Okay, well, let me write down the symbols in the order they went. The first symbol was number 3, which was the hourglass. The next symbol was number 5, which was the T shape. That's the order. Okay, let's just call these A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then if I take this, then the top left has got B, F on it. The top right has got D, B on it. The bottom left has got C2. That is the edge of the Maltese one again, which is E. And then here we have the Maltese one, which is E2. That shape there, yeah, it's the hourglass, which is A. So I think this is the original ordering. If I give total values for these, perhaps? This was the original ordering. Then, I mean, this would be 3 and 5, which would be 8. 5 and 1 would be 6. 4 and that would be 6 too. That's not helpful. 2 and 6, which would be 8. Oh, I've got 8, 8, 6, 6. That doesn't help. Oh, wait. I haven't used this yet. There are 2 things on here. So if these are my sequences, let's forget the totals, which is a bit of a random thing to do, then my numbers would be, in terms of the sequence, they'd be 2, 6, 4, 2, 3, 5, 5, 1. Because that's the position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the ordering of the shapes. So then I'd have this one first, because it's 26, this one next, because it's 35, then this one, because it's 42, then this one, because it's 51, based on this. So that gives me an ordering. What happens if I then start with these? So I have the top left one first, which is 11 o'clock. So I start at 11 o'clock. Which way does this go? That way? Okay, it sticks that way. Start at 11, then go to 2, which is 9. Okay. If this makes these all align in some clever way, I will be very impressed. And then we need to go to 3, which is here. Over here. Oh, well, I don't know which way to turn it. Is that what these mean? Oh, look, I think it's anti-clockwise and clockwise. Oh, this is so clever. Okay, so, hang on a minute. We start with, I might be wrong about this, but if I'm right, then we're starting with 2, 6, which is the top left, which is 11. Right, and this only goes up with the, yes, it goes this way because it snaps that way, and it also has the engraving face up. So we go to 11. See if this dial moves yet. How's it going to track it? It's based on the position of the plastic ones, right? And then we have number 2 is here, and to go to 2 we go anti-clockwise. Okay, so we go anti-clockwise to 9 o'clock. Right, I didn't move because that's what I'd done already, probably. And then 3 we go clockwise to this one, which is 3 a.m. or 3 o'clock. I went a bit far then. And then we go anti-clockwise again to position 4, which is 6 o'clock. This way. Oh, it didn't work. I want it to work. Maybe I'm wrong with the interpretation of the 2 symbols. Maybe it's something else to do with interpreting this side again. Let's just wind it up again. Maybe I'm comparing the opposite sides. I mean, so that's... Well, I have to look back at my original one to know which is which, because these are in the order. They are across here, so I don't have to keep tipping sideways on to look. But I have 5 and 6. Oh, they don't go together, though. Pushing those together doesn't give any result. Can I compare 2 against 2? Maybe I can compare 2 at once against 2 other ones. Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. To give an order for the 4 symbols. That's an interesting idea, isn't it? Perhaps I order... Let's go to that. Perhaps I order the symbols as... I don't know what the double question marks are for. Perhaps I order... Oh, because one side's on the other side. So this is 5 and 6 on my original symbol numbering, counting 1 to left, 6 to the right. This is 4 and 5. Yes, they are on the same side. This is, I think, 1 and 2. And this is 2 and 3. Oh, they are. If I press 2 at once, does that give a different result? So can that give an ordering? Oh, let's try 5 and 6 against 1 and 2. So that's greater. And 4 and 5 again, I'm not sure it's going to work fully. 4 and 5 against 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is greater than 4 and 5. And 5 and 6 were greater than 1 and 2. Let's run out of battery again. No, 1 and 2 were greater than 5 and 6. I didn't write that down very carefully. Let's compare 1 and 2 against 4 and 5. 1 and 2 are greater than 4 and 5. I don't know if this is actually doing anything, but 1 and 2 are greater than 4 and 5, and 2 and 3 compared to 5 and 6. 2 and 3 are less than 5 and 6. Comparing the pairs together gives us a different ordering. It gives us these 4 comparisons here, because I can compare the left side against the right, left pair against the right pair, and then that does give us an ordering. 4, 5 is less than 2, 3 is less than 5, 6 is less than 1, 2. Where I am representing the symbols, the pictures by numbers. So the point is, that means this is first, because it's the lowest, and this is the layout of the cardboard here, the wood rather. And then we have 2, 3, so that's second, and then 1, 2, then 5, 6 is third, and this is fourth. So we now have an order in which to do these symbols. And is that different to before? It certainly is. Okay, take 96. Now, it's actually really take 2 of actually having a sensible plan for how to rotate this. So I think we're now starting at position 1, which is 3 o'clock. So turn to 3 and turn anti-clockwise to 6. Yep. And number 3 is this one here. Turn clockwise to 11. Yes. And finally, anti-clockwise to 4, which is this is 9 o'clock. Ah, come on. I think maybe that moved. It's almost moved. Oh, did I get it across? Oh, I feel that was almost right. Perhaps I didn't quite turn them. It definitely clicks across a bit further. Oh, that's moved a little bit. Ah, is that right? Has that not got quite... Try standing it upright in case that helps. Oh yeah, I stood it up and it did actually go all the way right. Okay. Oh, and that's just fallen down by itself. Aha! So that's solved then. How phenomenally clever that is. I mean, it's extraordinary. Right, that's down. Now we're on this side. Oh, that moves across. Let's zoom out. It now says, I can now move that across and it says rotate. Does it mean rotate this anti-clockwise? Or does it mean rotate this? What does rotate mean? I can't move that down yet. I feel I need to move that down. And then I presume that will work and open the lid. Because it's the last presumably thin latch in. What does rotate mean? Does it just mean keep turning like this? Maybe it just means literally just rotate. Doesn't mean rotate it like this. Does it mean keep spinning this anti-clockwise? No, that's not doing anything now. Does it mean roll it this way? What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it just giving me a direction of rotation? I mean, that would make some sense. But I can't keep rotating it forever. It's not unscrewing or anything. I can't move that while that's rotating, can I? Maybe this does mean do something backwards? What could I do backwards? Maybe I move all of these back up? I don't even know if I can do that, to be honest. They seem to be wedged down by the bits I've already solved. What could I do backwards, apart from turn this the other way? But there's no reason to turn this either way at the moment. It doesn't have direction of turn on it. Do I really have to undo everything I've already done? Okay, so I can move that back. That doesn't go back up though. Actually, why doesn't that go back up? Oh, because of that. All right. Oh, sugar. Oh no, please don't. Okay, that goes to the... Does that go back to the right? That can go back to the right. That can go up. That can go back to the left, I hope. Oh, but only when that's all the way up. Let's try that again. Undo that. Undo that. Oh, that actually went back now. Does that go to the right? Oh, it won't go back to the right though. Oh, that's gone all the way to the right. It doesn't go right either. Oh, did they have to go back to 0? Maybe they were all at the top. Oh, they were all at the top. Because that was in there. Will this go right now? It will. I felt that was going to go down then. Maybe that does go down. Oh, that won't go left because it's locked. Wait, I'm confused. I've just undone it like I thought it was saying. But that hasn't helped, has it? Well, these 3 acrylic ones are down, but that one isn't. What would make it come down? Perhaps I was meant to do this, but I was meant to not do that one. So let's start it again. And the first one I solved was this one, which let me solve that, and oh golly, I just wrote this down. 1021. This was really fiddly. There we go. It's that 0 and it's fiddly. And that let me solve this one, which went to the right. Oh no. I'd have to solve this again now, don't I? Anti-clockwise to 9. Oh wait, I've got that to go across when I put it vertically. There we go. I had to stand it upright for that to work. Okay, maybe I'd leave that across, thinking about it, because that might then trigger that. But let's hold that up and let's see if I can move this back. I can. And now can I move that right? Put all those to 0. Move that right. Move that right. Does this now push down? No, I wanted it to though. Oh, it does. Aha. Oh, so I think I've moved all the locking posts down. So that now lifts off. Look at that. Oh, what's underneath of here? A bunch of stuff to do with circuits closing. Oh yeah, because look, there's something in the middle, but I can't get to it yet. I mean, this is a work of art, isn't it? Oh, these are switches. I think that means connect them. Oh golly, what does this mean? I mean, I can see it's a battery and I can see it's a series of switches. To complete a circuit, to put on light. So if I press 1, it'll turn on 1. Let's just put some power in and see what happens when I press the buttons. So if I press 1, it should apply power. Oh look, so I press these 2 together, it lights that one. There are 4 lights across the top here. Yeah, and are you meant to work out what switch is which? It implies they're all in the up state to start with, therefore you would suggest that all I need to do is close 8, 7, 6 and 5 simultaneously. So I need to work out which 4 to press to open it. Okay, so I'm trying to work out this circuit diagram, and I think, yes, okay, so I want to apply the power to here and then eliminate that button. Yes, so then I need to find a pair of buttons to turn on this light and then eliminate that one, and I found these 2, and find a button that, there should be one button that turns on each light according to this circuit. No, that's not true, because I need to close this one. Okay, fine. All right, I was slow to understand that. So, which button turns on the first light? Ah, this button here. So, these are my buttons. This one is S1. Turns on the first light. So when I press that, I'm circling back here. So I definitely don't want that on. But now I need to know what one will turn it off when I press S1. It's this one here, and not any of the others. So this must be S5. So S5 needs to be depressed to complete any other circuit. And now I need to find out which one will turn on to light 2. Let's just check this is still on. It's running out of power. So which one turns on light 2? Oh, it's A. So that must be S2. I said A, but I mean the top left. So that must be S2. So those are fine. I don't want to touch those. While holding down S5, S2, I need to find out which one turns S2 off. Yes. Oh, that one and that one. Oh yes, well it will be that one. But it's here. This is S6, isn't it? If I hold down S5 and S6, I should work out which one is S3. Because it turns the third light on, right? Ooh. Oh, I've got this wrong. Oh yes, I pressed the wrong one. S5 and S6. Aha! So that, the one at the bottom right, is S3. Okay, this is a slow process. So I need to close, hold down S3 and S5 and S6 and press it until the light goes off, which is then S7. Right. So hold down S3, which is here, and 5 and 6, and now which one makes it go off? Oh, it shouldn't be, apart from 2 and 1. So it's this one here, that's the one I haven't yet pressed. So that will make it go off because it's further left on the top row. But this one is making it go off, so that must be S7. So now I only have one more circuit left, switch left to find to be able to close the bottom circuit and find the thin. So now, if I hold down 5, 6 and 7, I need to work out which is S4. So 5, 6 and 7 are that one and that one. Oh, I think I've run out of electricity. 5 and 7 and 6. This should make the fourth LED light come on. It's that one. The bottom left one. So that is S4. And by elimination, this is S8. Now to complete the circuit, I need to hold down 5, 6, 7 and 8. Let's just make sure there's enough juice in here. And 5, 6, 7 and 8 are 5, 7, 6 and 8. Ah! And that moved. I don't know if you can see. It's released it. Ah, I think I finished. Nikola Tesla puzzle potato. What an incredibly beautiful thing. Is there a puzzle here still? Oh yes, this is locked. Look at this. That doesn't pull. I'm not done. Mini Tesla. How does this open? Do I pull at the same time? Do I push this here? Is there a magnet on it? Well, this is very simple. It must be quite straightforward to open it. Try different angles. Do I have to hold it near something? Put it back in here, perhaps? Does that have a magnet that will make it work? There is an arrow here, in fact. And that arrow does match this. Oh, do I have to put it back in this way? Which way did it come out? Maybe I put it back in this way. Pull that. It's just coming differently, right? It's coming up without the rest of the box. Like that. And then, yes. And I can release that. And now that's locked back in. It must be some magnet in here or something. Or that peg. I don't know. Anyway, it's open. And I think that was the final puzzle. I mean, it clearly is the final puzzle. Unless there's one in this bag. Look at this, just honestly, just gorgeous. What's in here? Mini Tesla coil. Oh, it's something to assemble. Gosh. Whoever designed this was well, they really, look at that. Oh, there's a manual on how to build it. Well, and look at this, there's some wire. And oh, it's going to light up. There's actually an LED there. And that's, how is it going to light up? I don't know. Anyway, I'll have a look at that in a minute. But we've solved the puzzle. And I didn't think I was going to get there for a bit because it was taking me a very long time. But that is really just truly a work of art. It's spectacular from start to finish. I didn't think any of that was unfair. Sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of wiggling needed, but never so much that it was ridiculous. That's a masterpiece. That was really very, very impressive. What's this in here? Is that something that releases the... That's something to do with the release mechanism, I don't know. But that's quite spectacular. quite spectacular. The fact it's got the electronics in it as well is just remarkable. Well, I've just scanned that manual code, and so what is incredibly clever, there's more than a few steps, is that when you're finished, it connects with these mysterious marks here or here, and does either continuous lightning it says, or flash lightning. So that is amazing. There's another little thing there tucked on the end. Yeah, there we go. It did eventually open, pretty much like my miniature one that came with my Kickstarter backing of it. Right, segue forward a bit. It's now the day after. I'm going to try building this. Right, let's check we have all the bits. Right, with the exception of part D, they're all labelled with letters. And I also have this wire they've given me as well. So I guess I will start assembling, but I'll fast forward. I'm not going to make you sit through that. First step, twisting the long wire onto one leg of the LED and the short wire onto the other leg of the LED. All right, next step, place the LED on part A with a wire on each side. I think I've done it. My coil isn't very neat, but I think that's there, and I just need to put the plastic bit, lightning bit in the top, and then we are finished. Right, let's try charging this up. Let's see whether it works. So I think I put it on these contacts here. Yes, it does. It flashes. There's a blue flash on that one. And what about on the other one? The other contact on the board here. Ah, steady. It looks white on the camera, but it is in fact blue. There we go. That is actually really, really cool. So what a fun thing to find buried inside your puzzle after finishing it. Well, there we go. That's the Tesla puzzle cube, and I thoroughly recommend it. There are a few fiddly bits about it. I think the bit with the charging, I mean, it's a bit awkward, but it's kind of fits the theme very nicely. It's also very clever, and it means, of course, you don't need batteries. But on the other hand, you don't always know when it's run out of battery, and since some of the functions require it to actually be charged as you use it, I think that it's actually possible to miss things through no real fault of your own. It's quite hard to keep charging as you experiment until you know what's going on. And similarly, I think the fact that it goes green when it's fully charged is a bit confusing, because if, like me, you have that experience first when you've actually just tried something else on the cube, it's a bit confusing because you feel you're getting a response. Those are small minor criticisms, and to be honest, I mean, they're just part and parcel of the solving process. Working out what everything means is the game in this sort of thing. So anyway, very impressive indeed, and I, as I say, recommend it. Well, there we go. If you enjoyed this video, do please like it. That would be great, and leave a comment. Please do leave a comment, whatever you thought. If you've tried it yourself, I'd love to know how you got on with it too. And if you think I missed anything, well then let me know. And otherwise, if you fancy subscribing to the channel, that's always fantastic, thank you. But otherwise, until I see you in a future video, all that remains is for me to say, take care and goodbye.